morning. It's Monday, November 6th, 2023. My name is Terry Morgan, and we are here to practice. Foundations, we're still working on foundations. And every time I say it's November something, it just seems like this year has gone by way too fast. I got quite a few things that I have intended to do this year, probably not going to happen. Will happen, but probably not this year. And a few things that I have planned for now and next year. So for now, one of the things that we're doing, a couple things. One of the things that we're doing is this foundation work. It is where my practice comes from. It's something that each person, okay, so your practice is going to come from somewhere else because you're not me, right? Each person has to, at some point, identify why they're practicing. What am I doing here? Why do I like it? Okay, that's good. That's enough. I like it. Why do you like it? You want to reinforce that because that's what will help you keep going. If you don't have something that you identify as being important to you, as being that part of that fundamental foundation that keeps you going, if you don't identify that at some point, it doesn't have to be today, it's not going to be tomorrow, it may be 2 or 3 years from now when you look back at what you've been doing. It may be something that you recognize immediately. So, yeah, that's definitely part of my foundation. As you do that, you build a greater strength in that foundation to sustain your practice over time. That's what carries it, not how many repetitions you can do today. Alright? It's just not. Alright, second thing. I have quite a few videos. Over 900 something, right? And not such a great catalog for all of them. So one of the things that I want to do is to start doing a better job of creating that catalog. So I'm going to stay with the foundations for now, and I'm going to work through some of the questions that I have for myself in how to build that catalog so that it's easy to find what you're looking for, that we have transcripts available, that some of the extra repetition that comes from practice is identified as that extra repetition. So if you're trying to look through and just get a refresher on everything, you can do that. If you want to go through, I'm going to practice this set, you can do that too. Or this one, or that one, whichever that happens to be. Right now, I've got some good playlists. It could be better. I put up some announcements yesterday about just what I'm talking about here. There was a post that I put up. I'm going to use that a little bit more to talk about what we're doing in class. And I'm also going to bridge that a little bit to what I'm doing with the new venture that I've started, channel15radio.com. That effort is something that belongs with this class. There's quite a bit of martial arts lore in the story, and there's quite a bit of that tradition that comes from the arts that I practice and I teach and the way that I view it. So it may not be the same way that You know, this person over here views it, may not be the same as what this person over here views. It's my view from my experience, my practice. And as I look back at so many of the experiences that I had early on, there is great value in all of those experiences and in the recognition that many of the things that I did are not possible today. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore. There are places that have been torn down and rebuilt. There are places that have been torn down and paved over. There are places that have been remodeled to the point that they're no longer recognizable. That development removes part of history. Sometimes it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a derelict building, it's fallen down, it's dangerous, they don't want kids playing in it, we need to tear it down. Well, alright, but it wasn't a derelict building when I was there. That memory and that history is part of what I've learned. It's part of my own reflections on my practice and how I got here. How did I get from where I was to where I am now? How did I get here? If we don't recognize that history, if we don't remember our own history, we can't remember anybody else's either, right? And we do need to remember that. Where did my stubbornness come from? Well, partly from my dad. He was pretty stubborn. Partly from just me. I was always pretty stubborn. Where did my drive to learn come from? That's just me. I've always been curious about things. I have. That sense of wonder, that sense of curiosity of, oh, what's that? What happens if I do this? Oh, that's nice. That got me into computer systems. Right? If I push the button, what happens? Oh, that's cool. If I push some more buttons, what happens? Right? Martial arts had that same attraction for me. There was this one level of, let's do some physical activity, right? And now there's this other level of internal workmanship. And there's this other level that is the philosophy behind the workmanship. And there's this other level that traces all the way back to Huang He and the Huang Xi, the Yellow Emperor. Huang He is the Yellow River. No, this is not. This is the Yellow Emperor. And the book of traditional Chinese medicine, 3,000 years-ish. That history is part of what I tried to learn. Now, I'm first one to admit my understanding is incomplete. I've yet to meet anyone who has a complete understanding. Okay, it doesn't exist. That expert that really does know something about the discipline will be the first person to admit that he or she does not know everything. So, haven't met them. I have met some folks who are pretty good and who are experts, and they're way above me in their level of understanding of the concepts of the discipline and in some aspects of practice. Not all of them, some of them. And I say that because, and I'll put this down, we'll get started. I say that because what I've practiced, what I've learned, the discipline that I've developed, the kinds of things that I do, that I keep, that I'm teaching here, and that I have found valuable are not necessarily the same things that this person over here practiced and learned and found valuable. Now, there should be, if we're talking about the same discipline, the same subject, we're talking about Qigong, there should be some crossover. We're talking about Tai Chi. This person studied Chen style, I studied Yang style and Wudang style. This person over here studied Wu style. There are fundamental differences in what we're doing. There are fundamental similarities in how we're doing it. Differences according to style, according to the particulars for the movement. Wu style uses smaller circles, Yang style uses larger circles generally. Chen style uses spiral, Wudang uses spiral and combination of large and small. There are foundations that are the same. The circle. We're paying attention to a circle. We're paying attention to a circle along a line, as opposed to Bagua, which is a circle on a circle. Right? As we're moving, we're paying attention to our timing, we're paying attention to the breath, we're paying attention to how each part of the body moves so that the movement is well placed, well centered, and well coordinated. All of those come together no matter what style you're practicing. It needs to be there for all of them. Those foundations, along with, so many other things that we do as foundation practice, are part of the, I'm going to call it the canon of martial arts practice. Certain things everybody does. If you're a Tai Chi player, there's certain things that you're going to do. If you're a Xingyi practitioner, there are going to be certain things you're doing. It doesn't matter what system, it doesn't matter what style. There are certain things that are common to each art. Fundamental in the martial arts, a basic punch. There you go. No, it's not this. That's not a punch. Okay? That's not a punch. It's not. I might use that here, but I'm going to use my palm. I'm not going to try and hold my fist like that. Right? If I'm going to punch, it's here. And there's a dynamic. There's a direction. There's my height, because where I want my fist is right about here. I don't want it too low. I don't want it too high. Not in this angle. If I'm going to go for here, I'm probably going this way. Alright, so where's my opportunity? What can I do? If I can't hold a fist and extend my arm, I can't do that. I have to do a little bit more in order to be able to do that punch as a reaction rather than as a, alright, I'm going to close my fist and I'm going to drop my elbow and I'm going to bring up my fist and I'm going to extend my arm. Right? That's what has to happen. Alright? I'm not going to do that as a thing. Okay? There it is. That's it. Do I have to go through, let me do this, slowly. Yeah, slowly. I'm closing my hand. Hang on. It's going to take a minute. I said slowly. It's going to take a minute. Yeah, there it goes. Come on. It dropped you out. Just relax, breathe. It's slow. It's slow. It's slow. Notice what happens in my elbow. Arm starts to pull back just a little bit. Pull the fist in. Forearm turns over. Still moving. Please wait. And keep going. Still moving. Still moving. Haven't stopped yet. Notice my arms moving back. Relation to my shoulder, to elbow position. Right? And then notice that there's some tension in the forearm. As the arm starts to come up. And draw it forward. That was a little too fast. Keep going. Extend fully, but do not lock the elbow. So fully extended, the elbow doesn't lock. Not overextended. Alright, relax. I'm not going to make you bring it down. Alright, that is what gives me that. That slow motion. I know everything that has to move. I know everything that has to be still. I know every part that has to turn. I know where it has to turn. I know which muscles I need to use when, and I know how to use them. Because I started here and kept going. And the more slowly I move, the easier it is to find the timing that I need for which movement. What do I have to do? When do I have to do it? How do I have to do it? Which muscles? What do I have to engage? What happens first? What happens next? What do I need to pull? What do I need to push? What do I need to keep in alignment? How do I turn so that my fist ends up where I want it? That analysis that we do in moving slowly, breaking down each part of the body. I talked about feet all last week. Okay, I'm working a little bit more on hands and arms this week, right? That ability to focus on that particular body part, or those particular body parts, hand, forearm, shoulder, back of the shoulder, right? Being able to focus on those particular muscles, those particular muscle groups, and then put it back into what we're doing. the whole exercise, all of it, is foundation for doing any of the movements in any of the arts. If you don't know what your body is doing, how can you do the movement? What's your body supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to be standing here. I'm going to do stretch in a minute. So I want my knees to be flexible and I want my feet to be relaxed, right? Feet about shoulder width apart. Pull up through the back, hands circle to the front, and back around to both sides. Up along center line, and stretch out. Bend the knees, reach out over the legs. Stretch through the hips and the back of the leg. Stretch through the waist and the midsection. Relax through the shoulders and pull up. Extend outward through the upper back. Fingertips reach up. Elbows drop down, wrists, hands return to your sides. Alright, this basic stretch, and I have talked about this repeatedly, is one of the things that I have kept. The series that I learned, I've taught the series a couple of times. The series that I learned has this outward stretch, it has an inward stretch. We go side to side, we open to both sides, and there are walking sets that go with. This was one of the foundation practices that I learned when I first started studying Yang style Tai Chi. Very first. That foundation, just this one stretch, opens up my back, opens up the entire front sections of my hip and my shoulders. It opens up my knees, it opens up the feet, it sets up everything that I need to get started. It's all there. I could do more. I have done more. There's a lot more that we can always do. What do we need? What do we absolutely need? And how do we build that? How do we develop what do I need? Out of all of the things that I could do, what is the one thing that I've chosen to do? It's this one. Why? I just explained that. I'm going to do another set. This is from dance. And it fundamentally asks the same kind of thing. That we separate each body part, that we open the whole body, and that we get the whole body ready to move. We start, I'm going to start with the head, and I'm going to work my way down. Okay, so it goes all the way down to the feet. And what we're going to do is a simple circle. And we can mirror each other. You go the same direction that I'm going. So I'm going to drop my head forward, and I'm going to turn to the right. You can turn to the left, go back, ear to the shoulder, chin to the chest, and go around again, and again, and one more time. Come center, straighten the head. The other side, and drop the chin, ear to the shoulder, back, ear to the shoulder, front, ear to the shoulder, to the back, ear to the shoulder, chin, and go around. Go one, and around two, chin down, and come on up. All right, You may have felt, as we're going around in circles, you may have felt just a little dizzy. That is normal and natural. It's part of that turning of the head that we don't do all the time. This set, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Forward, ear to the shoulder, all the way back, ear to the other shoulder. Circle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your neck spine and the back of your neck should feel warm, relaxed, and very well suspended, very comfortable. They should. Okay? That's the goal. Open and relaxed. So tension's all gone. There's no more tension there. Shoulders. Roll to the front. Up. Back. Back down. And to the front. Up. To the back. Back. Front. Up. Back. Down. Front. Up. Back. Down. Circle. And do it forward, right? So, shoulders come up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop, relax, stand straight. You should feel a lot of warmth through the clavicle here and through the back of the neck, extending down into the upper back. Your chest is next. You got shoulders, upper chest. It's up forward, right side, to the back, left side, forward, right side, back, left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Center. Relax. Pay attention that you're moving your chest, not your waist. Okay, so the hips should stay pretty much still. The waist should stay pretty much still. You're moving this part, not right here. This is the part that you're moving. Okay? So go to the front, to left, back, side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Front, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, keep shoulders down. Keep shoulders down. Don't move anything that's not part of this movement. And turn around, go the other way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Stop. Center. Stay there. Relax. Again, that same idea that there's this gentle warmth and a relaxation through every part of the body that's just been working. Okay? We didn't really work the arms too much. We could. We should. You're going to go back. Now, let me go forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Forward. Like you're swimming. Backstroke, big circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Relax. Other way and go 1, 2, butterfly. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. That swimming, I grew up in a swimming pool, so Dad wanted me to swim. I did. The backstroke, that's the backstroke. And that movement with the arm opens up the entire shoulder joint and the elbow. The same as we're bringing the arms around this way. That's in swimming. There's a move called the butterfly. It's a butterfly stroke. It's hard to do. All right, this is a whole lot easier. All right, as the arm comes around, it helps open up the back even more. So this movement helps to open up the chest here. As I come around this way, it's going to help open the back and the center back. We've gotten the upper body. We haven't got too much to the lower body. We've got to keep working on that. Downward we go to the waist. As we're turning, the same idea with the ribs, except now we're down here. We're not up here. Not moved down to the hips yet. So good. Ribs, waist, hips. All right. So to the left, to the front, to the right, and back. To the left, the front, the right, and back. And circle. The hips stay. The waist moves. The upper body goes with. Center. The right, the front, left, and back. The right, the front, left, and back. And circle. And I can, whatever I do with my hands, right? All right. That last one got the hip a little bit going. That's what we're going to work on next. I was thinking about releasing the hands, and my hands were here at my hips, so the hips went too. All right. This happens. What do I do with my hands? Well, I can put them right here. That's fine. I can let them go with my body as I'm moving, so that not too loose, that they're too floppy and just moving around, but that they're loose and flexible and not stuck. So my arms are stuck. They're not going anywhere, right? They're not. All right, that's a little too loose. That's better, right? That difference in, I'm going to move some, I'm not going to be stuck there, but I'm not going to let my arms flop. There's that refinement is part of what we want. All right, hips, same idea, right? And to the right, to the front, to the left, to the back, to the right, to the front. We're not in the knees yet, just the hips. Hips and everything above, right? The back, right? And circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other direction, go to the left and to the front, and the right and the back, and the left and the front, and the right and the back. And circle. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Center. Pull up. Relax through the hip. Same idea. The lower back should feel open. The hips should feel relaxed. And if you bend your knees a little bit, it should feel real easy to drop that hip so that it's even more open through the lower back. As we move through the knees, there's much more circle, and we need to pay a little bit more attention to holding through the ankle, because we're not using the ankles just yet. Knees, down to the knees. So we go to the right, and to the front, and to the back, and to the right, and the front, and the back, all the way around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Center and straighten. There are two other sets that we can do with the knees. I'm not going to do them right now, but I am going to show them just a little bit. So one of them is here. Both knees go to the outside and then to the inside. The other one is this direction. Come to the inside. I'm going to hold on both of those for right now. We're going to move down to the ankles, okay? So as we're turning, there's movement through the foot, right? So I'm turning, I'm over here to the right. A little bit, not a lot, not near as much as I am, but a little bit to the outside of the foot here, a little bit to the inside of the foot here, but make that through the ankle, not by turning the foot. So the weight shifts to the outside of the foot, to the back, the outside of the other foot, to the front and the back at the same time, so that your toes are holding as you lean back. Right? Go right, front, left, back. Right? Front, left, back. Through the ankle. Let the foot roll. Seven, 8. And go the other way. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, relax. You notice that I was doing a lot more with my lower body than I was with my upper body as I was working through the feet. Much more with the upper body than with the lower body when I was working with my hands. It goes together. All right, that sense of connection through the whole body. Wasn't that I didn't move at all. I was very well placed, even here, right? Everything worked together. Very little movement in those places that I did not want to move, and full movement in those places that I was trying to move. That isolation set, this is from dance, this isolation set, and we can go the other way too. It goes up and down. As we develop the skills to do that, to isolate those body parts, the side effect is that we develop the skill to coordinate them and have them work together. Both are essential to developing any of the skills in the martial arts. I need to know what my hand position is. I talked about this before. This is not a punch. I don't know what that is. It's not a punch. It's knocking on the door. Hi, how are you? Right? It's not. That's a punch. That difference, that's backhand. That difference, knocking on the door, backhand. It makes a lot of difference. It does. How do we do that? How do we develop those skills? One of the ways to start, what's the foundation for the physical movement? What do I have to know about which body parts in order to do this movement? Which body parts do I need to move? Which do I need to hold? What's the direction? And I'm going to take it one more step further. What's the direction of force? Where I left, right, front, back? What's the direction of force? And how much force can I extend based on how much force I can retain? So if my hand goes out real hard here and I can't sustain that, I don't have the grounding, I don't have the ability to sustain that force, I'm just going to throw myself off balance. I'll connect and bounce. You try it with a heavy bag. You try it with a heavy bag. Don't ground yourself. Just hit the bag. The bag will hit you back and you'll go take a step or two back. If I'm grounded, the bag's going to move, not me. But I have to know that, and as I extend here, also extending down. You may not be able to see that directly. I just said, I don't know if you can tell the difference between my standing here and my setting my weight. You saw my legs move a little bit, but that difference isn't, okay, I'm standing here, all right, now I'm going to take a fighting stance. Yeah, no. Hi, how are you? That was it. That understanding of what we do inside, how we pay attention to the muscles, tendons, ligaments, joints, the whole litany, and then how we use that, extend the energy through the body, is fundamental for everything that we do. It doesn't matter if it's Tai Chi, Xingyi, Bagua, Qigong, Shaolin, Kung Fu Da, the Japanese arts. It doesn't matter. It's fundamental. If the body's not well placed, if the body is not centered, if we don't know the direction of force and how we're using that force, and we're not able to sustain it, then nothing is going to connect. Excuse me. That foundation starts with understanding why we're here. What am I doing here? What do I want to learn? What skills do I want to develop? What's my foundation? Where does my learning, where does my practice, where does it start? Where did it start? Where does it come from? I want to do some physical activity, okay? I want to study the philosophy behind, okay? I want to study more about how to work with my own skills, something else that I've learned, okay? Lots and lots of things that are possible, right? That's what I want. What do I want? Now, is this something that's going to contribute to helping you get that? It could be. I would like to think so. that part of what am I learning? How do I do it? How should I do this? A lot of the punches that I threw today were more from the Shaolin tradition than they were from anything in Tai Chi. They were. Yeah. Tai Chi is more here. And yes, you saw me set my back foot. It is. That definition and that recognition of difference in emphasis, difference in style, difference in placement, difference in the outward shape. I still needed to have a well-formed fist. I still needed to have my arm in a good position relative to my body. I still needed to be able to extend my energy, extend the breath, and I still needed to be able to move the arm freely and in a pattern that was going to give me the best possible option to hit the target. That is part of what we're doing in developing that foundation. It doesn't show up a lot of times until later, and at the beginning, I'm just supposed to stand here? That's just That's all I have to, just stand here. That's kind of boring. I don't want to stand here. I want to be doing something. There's those nice Jackie Chan moves. I want to do some fancy kicks. Yeah, I want to learn the fancy kicks. That'd be good. And some of that low work, that'd be good too. I could. Why am I standing here? I don't want to stand here. I went through that. I did. I went through that litany. It wasn't until later that I learned that foundation of listening and just standing there. Listening to what you're telling yourself, listening to what your body is telling you, listening to what may be going on around you without responding to it, just listening. Danger is a fundamental skill. Listening is a fundamental skill. It is. It is. That sense of how a movement is done, I talked about that before. There was loud movement, there's quiet movement, there's noisy movement. There's noisy movement, right? That's noisy. It's really noisy, right? It is. It's noisy movement. Why? That understanding makes all the difference in your practice and how you move. So each movement has its own character, its own characteristics. Each style has its own character, its own characteristics, and all of that needs to come through in your movement. If you don't have foundations for fundamental movement, the foundation movement, what do I do with this? What do I do with that? How do I move my arm? What are the muscles that are involved? Anatomy book? If we don't pay attention to that, then the rest of it isn't going to happen. Not well. It still happens. You work back and forth. At some point, you have to know your anatomy. If you don't, you're not going to get that level of development that comes with knowing exactly what you're doing and being able to regulate it with the timing, placement, force, strength, and intent that you want. I'm going to stop for today. This isolation set is something that is one of my foundation exercises. I don't do it all the time, but I've learned it well enough that I can kind of stand here and work my way down. That skill isn't just because, it's because I practiced. It all comes from practice. The more we practice, the more skill we develop. And maybe I don't need to practice that particular thing anymore because I've developed the skill to do it without that part. Maybe I'm going to develop a different level of skill. I'm going to work on something more. For me, there's always been something more. There still is. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow.